Look at your life closely. Not the version you post, not the version you explain to others. The real one. Your bed is warm. Your phone is always within reach. Food arrives without effort. Entertainment never ends. Discomfort is optional. Pain is avoidable. Silence is filled instantly. And yet, you feel weaker than ever. This is not an accident. You were not defeated by enemies. You were not crushed by failure. You were pacified. Comfort is not a reward. It is a cage disguised as mercy. Most men believe they are free because no one is whipping them. They don't see the truth. The modern system doesn't need force anymore. It uses pleasure. It uses ease. It uses convenience to hollow you out from the inside. A man who is constantly comfortable never sharpens himself. A man who never struggles never develops authority over his own mind. A man who avoids discomfort becomes dependent, and dependency is submission. Think about how quickly irritation breaks you now. A slow internet connection, a delayed reply, a minor inconvenience. Your nervous system spikes, your patience collapses, your focus shatters. This is mental castration. Not because you are weak by nature, but because you've been trained to be intolerant of resistance. In earlier times, resistance was unavoidable. Hunger, cold, uncertainty, danger. These were normal conditions. A man either adapted or disappeared. His mind hardened naturally. Today, resistance has been engineered out of daily life. And without resistance, strength decays. Muscles that aren't used atrophy. So does discipline. So does courage. So does clarity. Comfort teaches you a silent lesson every day. Stop when it's uncomfortable. Escape when it's hard. Numb yourself instead of confronting reality. And every time you obey that lesson, something in you dies. You don't notice it all at once. You notice it later, when decisions feel heavy, when focus feels painful, when discipline feels impossible, when even small challenges feel overwhelming. You think you lack motivation. You don't. You lack tolerance for discomfort. And that tolerance is the foundation of power. In the next part, I'm going to show you how comfort rewires your brain, why willpower collapses in soft environments, and how most men unknowingly become addicted to ease, while believing they're just relaxing. This is where the trap becomes visible. The comfort circuit. Your brain was not designed for ease. It was designed for survival. For most of human history, effort preceded reward. Hunger forced action. Danger demanded focus. Uncertainty sharpened perception. The brain evolved to function best under measured pressure. Pressure created clarity. Comfort breaks that circuit. When comfort becomes constant, your brain rewires itself around dopamine without effort. Notifications, scrolling, porn, junk food, streaming. Endless stimulation with no cost. The brain learns a new rule. Why? Struggle when relief is instant. Every time you choose comfort over resistance, dopamine is released without work, and the brain adapts fast. What once felt like pleasure becomes baseline. What once felt tolerable now feels unbearable. This is why discipline feels painful to you now, not because discipline is harder than before, but because your reward threshold is broken. Your brain expects stimulation first, effort second. But the real world works in the opposite order. So when effort arrives without immediate reward, the brain panics. It sends signals. boredom, anxiety, irritation, fatigue. Not because you're incapable, but because your nervous system is withdrawing from ease. This is why most men can't sit in silence, why they can't focus for long, why they can't commit deeply, why they abandon goals the moment progress slows. Comfort has trained them to flee the moment dopamine drops. This is mental castration in its purest form, the inability to endure low-stimulation states. A man who cannot endure boredom cannot master skill. A man who cannot endure frustration cannot build power. A man who cannot endure discomfort cannot lead, because leadership requires choosing long-term pain over short-term relief. Notice how quickly you reach for escape. Your phone during pauses, music during work, noise during silence, distraction during thought. These are not habits, they are avoidance reflexes. Your mind has learned that stillness equals danger, because stillness reveals dissatisfaction. It reveals unfulfilled potential. It reveals the gap between who you are and who you could be. So the brain chooses numbness, and numb men are easy to control. They don't revolt, they don't build, they don't resist. They consume, they comply, they wait. This is why comfort is the system's favorite weapon. It doesn't break you loudly, it softens you quietly until you no longer have the appetite for struggle. In the next part, I'll expose how comfort kills ambition, why motivation collapses in easy environments, and how the men who regain power do one thing differently from the start. This is where the reversal begins. The death of ambition. Comfort doesn't just weaken discipline, it kills ambition, slowly, quietly, without resistance. Ambition is born from friction, from wanting something badly enough to tolerate pain, from a gap between reality and desire that burns instead of numbs. Comfort closes that gap artificially. When your basic needs are met with minimal effort, your nervous system stops sending urgency signals. There is no hunger sharp enough to force movement, no cold strong enough to demand preparation, no danger real enough to require courage. So ambition fades, not because you achieved something, but because nothing is demanding you become more. This is why so many men say, "I don't know what I want anymore." They confuse peace with fulfillment. They confuse comfort with contentment. They confuse numbness with happiness. But look closely at their lives. They aren't calm, they're sedated. They aren't satisfied, they're distracted. Comfort removes the pressure that once pushed men toward greatness. Without pressure, there is no direction, only drift. A drifting man doesn't fail dramatically. He just delays forever. I'll start tomorrow, when things calm down, once I feel motivated. Motivation never comes, because motivation is a response to meaningful discomfort. When everything is easy, nothing feels important. This is why modern men are obsessed with finding purpose. Purpose used to be obvious. Survival made it unavoidable. Now, comfort has erased the necessity, so purpose must be manufactured. And most men don't know how. So they substitute ambition with stimulation, goals with entertainment, progress with consumption. They feel busy, but they aren't advancing. They feel tired, but they aren't fulfilled. They feel restless, but they don't move. Comfort turns potential into procrastination. And here's the most dangerous part. Comfort convinces you that your lack of ambition is your personality. I'm just not driven. I'm not that type of guy. I prefer balance. No, you've just never been hungry long enough to remember who you are. Men who regain ambition don't wait for inspiration. They reintroduce discomfort on purpose. They create pressure where none exists. They impose standards instead of waiting for motivation. They choose difficulty before the world forces it. Because ambition is not a feeling, it's a response to challenge. In the next part, I'll show you how comfort destroys masculinity at the behavioral level, why softness spreads socially, and how men lose their edge, not alone, but together. This is where the environment becomes the enemy. The contagion of softness. Comfort does not stay contained inside one man. It spreads. Softness is socially contagious. Put one disciplined man in a room of complacent men, and he feels the pressure immediately. Not to rise, but to lower himself, to relax, to take it easy, to stop being so intense, to stop trying so hard. Comfort enforces conformity. Groups unconsciously punish the man who resists ease. They mock him. They label him extreme, obsessive, arrogant. Not because he's wrong, but because his discipline exposes their surrender. This is how environments castrate men collectively. Look at your social circle. What behaviors are normalized? What habits are encouraged? What ambitions are quietly discouraged? If comfort is the default, then ambition becomes deviance. Men bond over distraction, over food, over entertainment, over complaining. Rarely over discipline, rarely over standards, rarely over long-term vision. Because discipline threatens the unspoken agreement. We won't demand more from ourselves if you don't demand more from us. Comfort creates tribes that protect weakness. This is why most men regress instead of grow. Even if one man wakes up, the environment pulls him back, not through force, but through frictionless temptation. Just skip today. You deserve a break. Don't be so serious. These aren't kindnesses, they are tranquilizers. Masculinity has never been about aggression. It has always been about self-command. The ability to do what must be done regardless of mood. The ability to tolerate discomfort without outsourcing responsibility. The ability to endure isolation without collapsing. Comfort erodes that ability by removing consequences. In soft environments, weakness isn't punished. It's protected, so it multiplies. This is why strong men historically isolated themselves during periods of growth. Not because they hated people, but because they understood that inputs shape identity. Your nervous system mirrors what surrounds it. If everyone around you chooses ease, your body learns that ease is safety. If everyone avoids discomfort, your brain flags discomfort as danger, and danger must be avoided. This is why breaking free from comfort feels lonely, why discipline feels isolating, why self-improvement feels like exile. It is exile from the herd. But here's the truth most men never hear. You cannot become dangerous in a safe environment. The environment must change, or you must leave it. In the next part, I'll show you how powerful men use voluntary discomfort as a weapon, how they rebuild mental edge deliberately, and why pain, when chosen, restores authority faster than motivation ever could. This is where the reversal becomes irreversible. Voluntary hardship. Weak men wait for life to harden them. Strong men harden themselves on purpose. This is the reversal comfort never prepares you for. Voluntary hardship is not punishment. It is retraining. When a man deliberately chooses discomfort, cold showers, intense training, focused work without distraction, solitude, delayed gratification, he sends a powerful signal to his nervous system. I am in control. Discomfort does not command me. That signal rewires everything. Your brain stops panicking at resistance. Your emotions stop hijacking decisions. Your body relearns obedience to will. This is why men who train hard, fast, and honestly often carry a quiet authority, not because they are aggressive, but because they have proven to themselves that they can endure. Comfort removes that proof. Hardship restores it. Voluntary discomfort rebuilds what ease destroyed. Patience, focus, confidence, emotional regulation. When you survive chosen pain, fear loses its leverage. Fear only controls men who avoid discomfort. This is why discipline feels empowering after a while. At first, it burns. Then it clarifies. Eventually, it stabilizes. You stop needing motivation. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop asking how you feel. You act. This terrifies comfortable people. A man who can endure voluntarily cannot be easily manipulated. He cannot be bribed with pleasure. He cannot be controlled with fear, because he has already walked into discomfort willingly. This is why modern systems discourage hardship, why pain is framed as trauma, resistance as oppression, discipline as extremism. Because a man who embraces difficulty becomes ungovernable. Not violent, not chaotic, ungovernable. He does not need constant reassurance. He does not need constant stimulation. He does not need permission. And once a man experiences that internal authority, comfort loses its spell. Ease becomes a tool, not a trap. Rest becomes intentional. Pleasure becomes earned. Relaxation becomes recovery, not escape. But there is a final truth most men are not ready to hear. Choosing hardship will cost you something. In the next and final part, I will show you the price of rejecting comfort, why most men turn back, and what remains when the sedation wears off. This is the last threshold. The price of awakening. Comfort always asks for one thing in return: your edge. When you reject comfort, you don't just gain strength, you lose illusions. This is the price most men refuse to pay. You lose the ability to lie to yourself. You lose the comfort of excuses. You lose the warm fiction that everything is fine. When the sedation wears off, reality becomes sharp. You begin to see clearly who wastes your time, where you've been weak, how much potential you buried under ease. This clarity is not pleasant. It is sobering. That's why most men turn back. They touch discipline briefly. They flirt with hardship. Then they retreat. Not because it's too hard, but because it's too honest. Comfort allows denial. Hardship forces accountability. Once you harden yourself, you can no longer blame the world. No system, no parents, no luck, no excuses. And that level of responsibility is terrifying. Because power and responsibility are inseparable. A disciplined man cannot pretend to be helpless. A hardened man cannot play the victim. A sovereign man has no one to hide behind. This is why comfort will always be popular. It protects fragile identities. It softens consequences. It offers anesthesia instead of answers. But the man who walks through discomfort emerges different, quieter, sharper, less reactive, less needy. He doesn't seek validation. He measures outcomes. He doesn't crave comfort. He tolerates peace. He doesn't chase pleasure. He controls it. This is what mental castration steals from men: the ability to stand alone without collapsing. When you reclaim that ability, you become dangerous, not to others, but to systems that depend on your weakness. You no longer need constant stimulation. You no longer fear silence. You no longer break under pressure. Comfort stops owning you. And here is the final truth. The world does not reward men who are comfortable. It uses them. It rewards men who can endure discomfort without losing direction. That is the difference between consumption and command, between sedation and sovereignty, between being managed and being free. Most men will hear this and return to ease. They will scroll, they will numb, they will forget. A few will feel something tighten in their chest, not fear, recognition. If that's you, understand this. You don't need motivation. You need resistance. And resistance, once chosen, never lies to you. That's the end of the lesson.